Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me for another video. So today I'm going to be talking all about my Keep Cup and whether I like it, whether I don't like it, how long ago I bought it, is it worth it, etc. And this video is not sponsored, it's just I get a lot of questions about which reusable cup is best, and because I've only used one, I'm going to give you my honest opinion about this, the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful, etc. Also, before we get into this video, I just wanted to quickly say that I've actually started a Patreon channel, and that is because it's hard to get sponsors when you are low waste, low impact, you're vegan, and basically try to live as ethically as possible, because obviously you don't want to be selling stuff all the time and you don't want to be partnering with companies that don't meet your values. So yeah, I thought I would create one and give you some extra perks for being a patron if you decide to be so. So I'm just going to leave the link in the description and just feel free to go and check it out if you're interested. And of course, any support that you can give me is absolutely incredible. So thank you anyway in advance. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get straight into the video. So grab a cup of tea and let's do this. So the reason I have two sizes, I have this tiny one because, well, this is just the average size of a coffee that I would buy in the UK. So it made more sense to have a small one. And the bigger one I bought at the very beginning of my journey. It was a few years ago now. And I just found that it was too big, except for in America. So that's why I've left it in America with my boyfriend, and I just use it whenever I go there. And I have this one here so that I can avoid any kind of waste when I'm there or here, because unfortunately my boyfriend lives in America, so I do spend quite a bit of time there as well as living here. So that's why I have two Keep Cups. This one was actually a gift from Laura from Hetu, the zero waste shop, for my birthday last year. So I've had this for a year now, and I've had the other one for 2 years, so I feel like I have a lot of experience with these cups to let you know about them. Let's start with, I guess, the good. So this is the perfect size for a flat white if you go anywhere. It's also good for a small latte, but to be honest, like, who wants to drink like that much milk anyway? It's too much. So for me, this size and the medium size are perfect for London and UK sized coffees and teas, of course. I find that I have the glass one and the cork one because I didn't want to get the fully plastic, or I think it's like polyethylene ones. But the lid, of course, is made from a hard wearing plastic that can be fully recycled, and this comes in two parts. So it comes in these two parts, and one of the good things about the company is if you break this bit, or you break this bit, or you break the cork that's on the glass, you don't have to go and buy an entire new Keep Cup. You can just go to their website and buy the individual part, which is great because then it means that you can just fix basically what you already have without having to buy a whole new one, which can be pricey and is obviously not very low impact at all. Why did I buy this one? I bought this one for absolutely shallow and vain reasons. I thought it was really beautiful, and now that I have it, I'm obviously going to use it for as long as I possibly can until it absolutely breaks, and then I will just replace the parts instead of buying a whole new item, because I do really like it. I do like the cork because obviously it keeps your fingers away from the heat, and the glass, I just much prefer drinking out of glass. But yeah, I definitely bought this for reasons that were not practical, which is obviously a mistake now that I think about it. But I think, I don't know, it's a good way to get people to purchase a reusable item that hopefully they will use forever if it looks pretty, which I know is kind of a shallow option, but if that's like your tactic to get people to switch to reusables, I think it's quite clever. But then the only problem with that is if you come out with lots of new ones, then people who already have one are going to want to buy another one. And now that I obviously have two, and I obviously don't need two, but I wouldn't buy one ever again. Like, I have two and I don't need any more. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. So the good thing is you can obviously replace all the different parts if you break a piece, or you know, it becomes unusable or whatever for whatever reason. Mine haven't yet, and I've had mine for 2 years and 1 year. So, or if you put this in the oven if you put it in the dishwasher by accident and the cork breaks or something like that, you can just replace the cork, which is obviously great. But there are obviously a few downsides to this, which I'll say now. Number one is because it's in glass, it doesn't stay hot for very long, but that's fine for me because if I ever go out and buy a coffee, I will get it in this cup and I will drink it on my way somewhere. So I'm not like buying it to drink a bit later. It will be bought to drink straight away, which is why glass is fine for me. But if you're buying it and you don't want to drink it immediately, probably not right for you at all. Also, one of the things that people ask me about is whether it's leak proof. No, it is not leak proof. Do not fill this up and put the lid on and then put it in your bag, because I've made that mistake and I don't want you to make that mistake either. It can just leak everywhere and it will go all over your stuff. And you know, I do think that the lid is secure. Like when you put it on, it like clicks in place, but this doesn't mean, should I do it? See, you can see it spilling out now. So it's not leak proof, it's like a tool. And I wouldn't ever recommend you buying one if you are willing, if you want to have something that you can put in your bag and take with you. Especially if you're making coffee at home. You don't want a keep cup unless you're taking it with you elsewhere. That was a really bad idea doing that. Let me just sort myself out. Silly and me. Never mind. Anyway, back to the video. So yeah, it's not leak proof, so I wouldn't advise it if you wanted to buy one so that you could take coffee from home in, or if you were buying it and you wanted to put it in your bag at all. I do have a water bottle that is leak proof, and so if I ever buy like cold brew coffee or anything like that, I simply just put it in my water bottle instead, which is annoying because I have a coffee cup specifically for coffee, but that's fine. So it's not leak proof at all. It sometimes I've noticed that the little extra bit on the top, this bit, that can come a little bit loose after a couple of years of use. And if you don't mind, you can obviously just replace it, or if that's annoying, then again, I recommend that you don't buy it. What else? If of course you have any questions throughout this, like leave them below and I will tell you honestly whether I think, you know, whatever the good idea is. How much did this cost? My bigger one I think was like £18. Like it wasn't cheap for what it is. And this one, I don't know because I was given it, but I'll put it on the screen, or I think it's probably around like £15, but that's because it's the glass and the cork one. The reusable plastic one is a lot cheaper. I think it's like a tenner or something like that, which is much cheaper. The problem is I don't know how much other coffee cups are because I've never had a reusable one before. I don't necessarily think that if you get the glass and the cork one that it's particularly cheap, but I'm trying hard to figure out whether I would buy this again or if I wouldn't buy it again, and if I didn't have one. And I think for me personally, I probably would, but that's because I don't need to put coffee in my bag. If I want a coffee ever, it's because I want it for now and don't ever want it for later. So for me, I like it. The only thing is sometimes when you're drinking it with a lid on, it can spill a tiny bit, but that's usually because I haven't put the lid on properly. So that's really my fault, not necessarily the cup's fault. But yeah, all in all, for me, there are a few pros, but there are a lot of cons if you're more of a kind of practical on-the-go person than I am. If you don't want to hold it in your hand like I do, then it probably isn't the one for you. But if you like it because it's pretty and it's useful and you do not have a coffee cup that you can already use and you can't find one secondhand that would obviously be preferable to use, then it might be the cup for you. But this is not a selling point. I'm not telling you to buy it or to not buy it. I'm simply just telling you about the cup in case you were thinking of buying a reusable cup. Obviously, I think that you need to look inside your cupboards and see what there is before you ever consider buying something new, because obviously living a low impact lifestyle is trying to engage in the circular economy rather than simply engaging in the linear economy where you basically go and buy new things and you throw away old things, because that's how we create a huge amount of waste, and that's why we're at the point where we are with the waste pandemic that's going on right now. It's so important that you kind of look at your life and you think about how valuable these items really will be if you bought them. It's important as well, especially because low impact, zero waste, low waste living is at the moment very privileged, and I recognize that I find it easy to be low impact because I live an incredibly privileged life, and I don't think that it's necessary to buy this cup at all. I don't think it's necessary to buy a new cup at all. If you already have something, or even if you just have a glass jar that you could use at home that would do the trick. I've done that a lot of times as well whenever I've forgotten my cup. It's important that you look at what you have already and then decide whether you actually need something and how worth it is it if you bought that item to reduce your waste in the long run. Now that I have a cup, I will never buy one ever again, and that's because I don't need to and because I love this one. Really, I probably could have used something else, but I was in the beginning of my journey and I thought I needed to buy things to be zero waste in the beginning, which is not true. You can just reuse something you already have and make it work. You don't have to buy something to be included. You don't have to buy any new items to be aesthetic. Real and true low impact living is about using what you already have and engaging in a circular economy and not spending money on things that won't bring real value to your life. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to say about all of the kind of good and bad things about this specific cup. And it's because I get a lot of questions. So I just wanted to make a video about it to give you my true and honest opinion. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate, obviously, you coming here. And yeah, give it a like if you liked it. Comment any other questions you might have about this. And if there are any other things that you would like me to review if you're worried or conscious about buying them. I'm also going to be reviewing a lot of menstrual cups because I didn't realize how many different ones there are. And obviously everyone who bleeds has a different body, so I want to be making sure that you know what's available to you. So lots of those things will be coming soon as well, and more kind of just what I wasted this week, reviving the trash diaries, getting all the low impact stuff done. And thank you for watching. Check out my Patreon if you're interested. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.